Tate McRae is everywhere, from Vogue to Jimmy Fallon.
You're playing arenas and it's all sold out. Tate McRae everywhere.
To the top of the 2025 charts. In less than a year, she's gone from performing for thousands to tens of thousands, and it feels like she's only getting started. While other artists stay in the same place for years, Tate doesn't stop winning the industry over. So how does she keep climbing? And how is Tate McRae raising the bar for every other pop artist? From a young age, Tate was a dancer in training, aiming to become a professional. Her mother was a dance teacher, so Tate grew up practicing regularly. At 12 years old, she participated to So You Think You Can Dance, a dance competition. And after coming back...
I get home and all of a sudden I have to go back to, what was I, grade 8 or grade 7 or something? Like I had to go back to school. And I was like, this is boring. And so I'm like, I want to do something. So I started a YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, this will be my dance YouTube channel.
Where she built a community. She posted vlogs, experimented with music by uploading covers, and one day she wrote an original ballad called One Day. She uploaded it and it went viral worldwide. Very quickly, labels reached out and Tate...
We flew to New York like 2 weeks later.
Signed, shifted her focus from a career in dance to pursuing music. She released an LP with One Day as the lead single. She continues working on songs, but this time with a record label behind her to support the music videos. In 2020 dropped You Broke Me First. If you're watching this video, I'd bet 100% you've already heard that song. It went viral, but the only problem was the pandemic.
Something like a global hit, and I couldn't leave my house. I was stuck at home. The pandemic was at its peak.
The song resonated across countries, but there was no way to capitalize on its momentum during lockdown. All that being said, she went on tour after the lockdown. She followed it with a new EP, Too Young to Be Sad. Another standout single, Rubber Band, gained attention, but none of the other tracks really stuck. Still, Tate kept a loyal fan base dating back to her YouTube days that continued to support her. A year later, she released her debut album.
It's crazy to me because you grow up, you lose friends, you're suddenly scared of things that you were literally never scared of before. And when I was younger, I used to think I could fly.
With her first album, she did start to shape that identity more clearly. The central image was an airplane, representing the transition into adulthood and the end of childhood and adolescence. It was a strong concept, but even though the theme was consistent, most of the songs are generic. Generic is a strong word, maybe an exaggeration, since She's All I Wanna Be did get some attention. The main issue was that the songs were too polished. They sounded like the ballads Tate had already released on her EPs, only added some bass. For a track to really stand out, either the lyrics or the production needs to hit hard, and this album didn't quite deliver that. Still, she toured, thanks to her accumulated fan base from dance, YouTube, viral singles, and now this album. It was enough to fill venues. During the tour, she teased the song that would change everything. Greedy, and it really did, because this time she was 20. Things started shifting. She was older, starting to see life and herself differently. Up until then, the image was an airplane crashing, symbolizing the harsh realities of adulthood when childhood dreams start to feel more distant. But with Greedy, it was different. She had usually done ballads and melodic tracks, but Greedy was her first unapologetic pop song.
Man, it doesn't always have to be sad.
Yeah, it gets tiring.
Sports, especially hockey, became the perfect fit for her.
We've all been listening to Greedy nonstop.
Greedy and hockey worked together for a few reasons. First, she's Canadian, so it made sense. Second, she had just broken up with a hockey player.
Kicking down every door you can. You're such a...
As sad as it sounds, breakups, especially with recognizable people, often generate attention and views. People love drama. So the song made huge waves, went viral, and now has even more streams than You Broke Me First. She followed it with a second single to tease her next album, X's. Another hit, another sharp pop track. This is when she really started being recognised under her own name.
Tate 2.0.
With a stronger identity. Branding is key. Every artist needs it, and it's essential for anyone in the public eye. Fans, and even non-fans, need something instantly recognisable to associate with the artist. Nicki Minaj has her pink hair and eccentric outfits. Lady Gaga had her futuristic costumes. Billie Eilish stood out with her neon green aesthetic. Each artist needs a symbol, a word, or a style that makes their identity immediate. But the branding also has to make sense. It has to be original, occupy a unique space, interest the public, and above all, fit the artist's personality. Otherwise, it won't last. For Tate, sports became her anchor. Backed by her fan base, she gained momentum with Think Later and continued growing her audience. The comparisons to Britney Spears began there. She played of this comparison when she showed up in outfits of Britney's era. Even though Tate was clearly making a name for herself, she still wasn't fully recognised as a 100% pop girl. During her Think Later tour, she teased another new track.
Wait, that's not greedy.
When it finally dropped, it became another massive success, further elevating her profile. Personally, this was the moment I really started paying attention to her. Greedy felt overplayed at the time. Then came Two Hands. That's also when her album So Close to What leaked. Leaks are very common for big artists, but they can ruin the rollout. Songs aren't always finished, the surprise is gone, and months of work lose value. Tate handled it perfectly. She dropped an unreleased track not included in the leak, Sports Car. In the bio of one of her Instagram posts, she wrote, "You forgot to leak this?" And she even posed in Leak This t-shirts. It was her way of regaining control and showing her fans she still had cards to play. Honestly, I didn't even know about the leak at the time. I just saw buzz about the album So Close to What, and that's how I discovered it. I think that was the case for many others too. Her clever reaction turned a negative into an opportunity for promotion. So Close to What came out in early 2025, and it's without a doubt Tate's best album. It tells a cohesive story from beginning to end. It's about the new Tate, more adult, more provocative, but it also deals with the downside of that image, the feeling that her body is sometimes being used against her will.
Am I feeling confident and sexual, or am I feeling sexualized right now? I really don't know
She
the difference.
isn't always in control. It's a theme many can relate to, even outside of music. More broadly, the album tackles fame and its consequences. The strongest themes include the question of sexualization and losing control of one's image, the idea of a goal that always feels out of reach no matter how close you get, reflected in the title, nostalgia, and the struggle of staying present when you're always looking toward the future. What makes the album powerful is its narrative and cohesion. For the first time, Tate delivered a clear musical identity across an entire project. With Think Later, despite good songs, there wasn't a strong through line. Same with I Used to Think I Could Fly. But with So Close to What, listening from start to finish makes perfect sense. Tate is becoming a true master of pop, capable not just of writing hits, but of creating a universe. Criticism was louder back in her earlier albums. Some said she danced too much and didn't sing enough. Ironically, she only really started incorporating dance performances with Greedy.
Before this, I didn't dance on tour. I was just like singing.
But today, those critiques have mostly disappeared. That said, there are still some challenges. One comes from a video essay by Art at Midnight.
I would love to see her truly strangle the dirty pop genre, like full on, I need you to make me an entire dance album, okay?
Personally, I disagree. Tate's strength lies in her natural, gradual evolution. She's had fans since she was 12, and her career wasn't built on one massive hit. It's been a steady climb. She's simply getting better over time. That's what connects her to fans, myself included. We love that she can be confident, sexy, and energetic in one song, while also being sad and introspective in another. I don't think she should lock herself into one lane just to prove herself. What she could refine, though, is her visual identity. For Think Later, the vision was clear. Sports, hockey, dance. It was coherent and recognisable. For So Close to What, the album is more thoughtful, nostalgic, adult. The visuals lean on softer, melancholic colours, yellow, orange, blue, contrasting with the energy of Think Later. But I don't feel that vision was fully consistent. For example, during the Miss Possessive World Tour in Europe, which I actually got to see in person, by the way, and honestly, it was the best show I've ever seen. Everything from the visuals to the choreography and performance was flawless. But I was a little confused by her costumes. She had a beige and white version that matched the album aesthetic, but later in the tour the colours shifted to purple and then to blue, which felt a bit off. For me, it broke the visual coherence. Maybe that's just me, but it definitely stood out. For her next project, I think it would be interesting for Tate to adopt a sharper visual signature, maybe even a hairstyle or recurring look that reinforces her branding. Hair, especially for female artists, is crucial for distinction.
Everyone thinks that I really think about my hair, but it's actually one of the last things I think about.
Tate's blonde is becoming one of her trademarks, and it suits her, but the cut still feels a bit too classic. To compare, though I don't love pitting artists, especially women, against each other, a big part of Sabrina Carpenter's recognition came from her bangs. Her retro 1950s inspired look is so specific that you can't see her without instantly knowing it's her. Tate doesn't yet have that same instantly recognizable feature. And finally, one last thought. Recently, she and Kid Laroi broke up. While it shouldn't be viewed this way, it's likely an opportunity for her to gain even more visibility. It's a bit harsh to say, but if she released a revenge track now that she's already mainstream, it would push her name even further. So to answer the original question, why is Tate winning in 2025? It's not just about a hit song or strong branding. In fact, it's the opposite. Her success has been a decade in the making, built on her ability to reinvent herself and pivot.
It is, you run it like a business.
All while staying true to who she is. For example, what's holding Tyler back right now, even though she has a catchy persona, great style and good music, is that she hasn't really made that switch in her career. She tried to go softer and more reflective with Bliss, but it didn't fully land. The reason it failed is because she didn't fully commit. She stayed in her island aesthetic and just added one track that felt slightly different. Compared to Tate, it feels like Tyler is still in her Think Later era, hesitant to step outside of water and not ready to fully embrace a new direction. If I were on her PR team, I'd push for a rebrand into something fresher. I could keep talking about Tate for hours, but I'll stop here. I just want to say how grateful I am for 5,000 subscribers. I only started posting long-form content this year, so it really means a lot. Thank you to every single one of you for watching.